keep working on you, for we know it never gets easier, but with consistency, motivation, and this discipline, it will get better. Welcome to Coffee with Joy. I'm so excited to have you all here at the Coffee with Joy Talk Show podcast. So excited to have my guest, Christi, as we talk about sexy legs.
Yes.
So I don't know what she'll be talking about, but we ready to hear the conversation, what is to take place, what is to happen. So please make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow Coffee with Joy. And please make sure that if you like to patronize our company, please make sure that you follow our QR codes with any amount would do. So we're so grateful for what you have. So I'm going to bring my guest, Christi, on, and we're going to begin. Okay, there we go. We're going to make sure we jump right in. So, hey, Christi.
Hey, how are you?
Good. So glad to have you on with Coffee with Joy Talk Show podcast. So before we get started, can you tell people a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to jump right on in?
Absolutely. My name is Christi Harrison. I'm a DC native, which is very rare in the DMV area. And I am the founder and CEO of Cara Hosiery, the luxury hosiery boutique in the DMV.
Awesome. Wow. So let's jump right in. So how did you even get into hosiery? You always hear people say, well, I need to do clothes. I want to do wigs. I want to do shoes, but it's rare that you hear hosiery, right? So what was the thought and how did you jump into this?
Let me put my mug down, Joy, so we can talk about it. So I have always loved to wear tights and cute socks. My mother used to dress me up in all things lace, all things frillies, all things girls. And I was really stuck. I want to say in my career, my family was young and I was just really trying to figure out what I wanted to do next. I've always had the entrepreneurial spirit, but just didn't know what to do. And so I was thinking to myself, what is something that I love, something that I'm passionate about, and that's not in a saturated market? And what I mean by saturated market, like you just said, you see wigs, you see clothing, you see this, you see that, but hosiery and socks is kind of a very niche market. And so there I went. And then I was also thinking about a way where I could pay homage to my sister, Cara. And that's how this came about. It really was a passion project for me that turned into a brand.
Oh, wow. That is amazing. I mean, because clearly, of course, I believe we have enough. Let me say that. I believe we have enough clothes and wigs, right? Units, press on nails. I believe we have enough, but not enough hosiery, right? And when I say hosiery, I mean the sophisticated kind, the luxury, the one that sticks. So what makes yours sticks out from the rest? That everyone needs to get a Cara hosiery, what makes yours sticks out?
Good question. So my idea behind the brand was to really reshape the way the modern day women wear hosiery. So you'll hear women say, oh, I don't wear tights anymore because they irritate my skin. Or I don't wear tights anymore because they run. Or I don't wear tights because they're not fashionable. And so my idea and a plus to that was to include something that included a little bit more comfort. So my idea was to have one that was a brand that was fashion forward. So a lot of my designs are sketched out by myself. And then two, I wanted it to be sustainable. So I wanted the fabric to feel like your skin. I don't want people to put these on thinking that they're your granny pantyhose, because they are absolutely not. And then another point that's a distinction between Cara and everyone else in the market is our built-in bikini panty. It was important to me that if women of a certain age or a certain lifestyle, if they wanted to lose a layer, Joy, that they could do that without any conviction. Like they don't have to feel guilty about feeling sexy. So those are some of the factors that make Cara Hosiery stand out from all the other brands.
Now, what sizes do you go up to? Because, I'm a plus size girly and I surely do wear hosiery.
Yes,
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 but
yes.
we'll get
So
into that.
so right now I have some of my designs range from small to 2XL. So
Hmm.
I love my girls, and I'm definitely working on something for my curvy women.
Whoop whoop. Only because
Yes.
I love, and especially designs, right? I don't
Mhm.
like this. I like your quirky, your unique one that really have people staring and glaring. Like, oh wow,
Yes.
like the
Yes.
abstract, the designs. So how do you
Yes.
go about making those designs and still bring the comfortability as well as durability and to be able to retain? Because I know
Yes.
plethora of questions like people will have to buy stockings like they're buying food. I constantly have to buy.
Yes.
I rip it
Yes.
right when I put it on due to nails or the snag
Yes.
or when they're washing. And some people don't wash them by hand, right? They
They
put them
do
in
not.
wash.
They
Yeah,
they
and it
do
doesn't
not.
have the durability that they have. So, how does yours stay with the durability and the
Mhm.
comfortable at the same time being unique and abstract?
Yes, so those are a lot of different factors that I took a
Mm.
lot of time and research
Okay.
that went into the product production. My
Mm.
background is marketing, so I'm a design girl by nature. But textiles, that is was an unfamiliar territory for me. So I took a lot of time researching fabrics, joy, researching how to
Mm.
make hosiery. And then, unbeknownst to me, I found a school that I enrolled in that taught me from stitching to final product. And that was very helpful to me because I didn't want to rush into making something that was not going to be to my satisfaction. So
Mm.
it was very important that when I launched my first collection, and Joy, you will be surprised to know I'm actually celebrating my anniversary this week. So yeah, Cara has a birthday, and I'm so happy to tell you all about this. So it was important when I launched my first collection that it was a product that I was satisfied with, and I did not want to compromise the integrity of Cara's name as well as my product because I wanted to launch not only tights, but I wanted to launch a brand. So
Mm.
looking at fabrics was important. Some of my designs have what we call a run resistant fabric. Now, that
Okay.
doesn't mean it won't run, but that means that you will get at least, if you take proper care and handle them properly, you will get at least 3 to 5 wears out of them.
Mm.
At least.
Wow. Yes, because I know I need multiple because I wash mine by hand, right?
That's
And
good. That's good. Say it again. Say it again. Hand
yes,
wash, people. Hand wash. They're
yes,
delicate. Treat them
yes,
delicately.
because I that's just something I'm just tired of always having to buy. And I
Yes.
just especially when I mainly wear it when the season change over, whether fall or winter, right?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it's to me, especially the thickness, but it still give that
Mhm.
design. That's the main thing that I really like, right? I love
Yes.
the sheer, but it has the thickness to it, but it still give
Mhm.
that abstract look to it. So I really enjoy it because it gives the legs some definition and it really
Yes.
have people not just looking at the outfit, but also the legs because yes, I know it's
Yes.
cold, but these are helping my
Yes.
legs stay warm.
Yes.
So I am truly a hosiery girl. So in
Oh,
placing,
good. Yes. I
yes,
love to hear that. That's something I love to hear.
yes, I am a hosiery girl. I look forward to, and of course, there's some brands that I've purchased, but again,
Mhm.
and then when I say purchase, mean that I like. There's one particular brand I do like only because it matches my skin well, but I have to buy it several
Okay.
times because it's so sheer. But at the same time, I'm just
Oh,
ugh. But so you deal with it because until you have something in place of it, right? And
yes,
knowing that you can
absolutely.
wear something that's durable. Like, and then I try my best, like I stated, I wash mine and I hang them up in the bathroom,
Mhm. Mhm.
old school. So
Yes.
I know for
Yes. 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 You get it, Joy. You get it. You get it.
yes, yes, because anything, as much as we say durable, right? Anything,
Yes.
everything is here to it can be destruct because you
Yes.
make it, it's
Absolutely.
able to break. That's just like rules.
Absolutely.
Rules are meant to be broken, or they will never have
Absolutely.
minute.
Yeah.
So of course they're able, but I try my best. Now,
Good.
like what is like your number one seller in your within your stockings, your number one that's a must have when people's like,
Yes.
oh yes, I'm
I
coming for the
think the
car, your
name
hosiery.
says Yes, yes, yes. I think the name says it all. My number
Mhm.
one seller is chaos, and that was a design that I literally sketched out myself on a hand pad or notepad, and I still have the notepad with a lot of my different designs and a lot of my ideas. And Joy, you will be surprised as much as women love my product, so does men.
Yes, yes, yes. We
Yes, so
definitely
does
gonna we're gonna hear more about that after these messages because we would love to hear how Christy stockings are complete unisex. Yes, men are wearing hosiery. Keep that in mind. So after these messages, we're going to hear some more about unisex and how does she bring up these designs and how she's competing in today's market. Stay tuned after these messages. To elevate your game? Want to reach an engaged audience? Have no fear. Advertise your business on our podcast. Connect with us, the Coffee with Joy Talk Show podcast, and let's grow together. Email us, and we surely look forward to hear from you. So welcome back to Coffee with Joy. So excited to have you all here. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow Coffee with Joy. I know there's some great information that Christy has stated. And if you'd like to reach out, you know her tag is right here. So please make sure that you reach out. She has sizes from small up to 2X. So yes, my plus size girlies, she got you. She's truly in it. So I'm gonna bring her back up. And of course, we're going to talk about the unisex because we left off on break to talk about their men tights. And I think that's good. I think that's great. So
yes,
let's talk about
yes.
that. The unisex. Let's talk
Let's
about that.
talk about that. So when I launched my first collection, there was a guy that reached out to me that ran a blog about hosiery for men. I absolutely adore him. His name is Bill. I'll just state it. I want to give Bill his flowers because Bill educated me on the nuances of why men wear tights.
Yeah.
And Joy, after I had that conversation, I connected with Bill. We had several conversations. And I thought to myself, like, well, let me dig a little further. And Joy, I must tell you, my men that wear tights and my car guys is what I call them. They
The
are
burger.
so very loyal. And I had to understand the reasonings behind them. So people will think, oh, something must be wrong with them, or oh, they're living a different lifestyle. And I just feel like, and I've always felt like this, if you like it, you should be able to wear it, whatever it is. And my sister, who was, oh my goodness, she cut all the rules, Joy. She broke all the barriers and she dressed for how she wanted to dress. She had her
Mm.
own style. And so her legacy lives throughout the brand. So when I find myself confronted with certain situations that are not somewhat unconventional, I think what would Cara do? And Cara
Mm.
would open everyone up with open arms. Let's talk about this product. Let me show you how you can wear this product. Let
Yeah.
me show you how you can have confidence when you're wearing the product. So unisex, definitely car hosiery, screams and shouts from the rooftop. We are your brand. I have done a couple of segments, even on local televisions, to talk about unisex fashion. I
Mm.
think that it's going to be the wave of the future, and I'm happy to say that we are already on that trend.
Of course, because men, of course, I just call fashion is fashion, right? And whether heterosexual or hey, any denomination you call yourself,
Mhm.
I truly love to just see stockings across all men and women because it just brings out the legs. It makes the legs more defined.
It's
I
so
just
good.
love, yes.
And Joy, can I tell you and all of your subscribers a secret? Some of my men, they handle the hosiery better than some of the women.
Mm,
Yes,
mm,
yes. And then they wear them for different reasons. Some
right.
people wear them because they may have leg disorders, or
Yeah.
they want to cover veins, or they may have a medical disorder. So
Yeah.
people are wearing products, especially car, for various reasons, and I absolutely love it.
Awesome. Now, what has been like your ups and your downs in doing car hosiery, right?
Yes.
Because we know we talk about entrepreneuring and we want to share the great, but
Mhm.
there's always these bump in the road, right? We tell God we want this direction. He say, no, you got to go through the scribbles.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, you go through it.
Yes.
But what has been like your ups
Yes.
and downs in creating this hosiery?
I would say one was having the confidence to enter into an industry that I was not familiar with. I had a business plan on the back of a napkin. And I remember going to this class, learning about textiles, and I pitched an idea. I had an idea on the back of a napkin. I pitched the idea, and the instructor told me, he said that if you're willing to stay a couple more days because I was out of state, he said that I will introduce you to a manufacturer and let you pitch your idea to them. And I say, well, I'm already here. Why not? So off I went to the manufacturer, enjoyed. When I walked into the hosiery mill, I was just thinking, like, oh my goodness, why would they want to take an offer from me? Why would they want to work with me? They've worked with larger brands, DKNY, some of the more familiar brands, Calvin Klein, Ralph Lauren. And here I am with a barely have a business plan. But I pitched my idea. We did a handshake, and then car hosiery went into production 9 months later. One of the biggest challenges I would say I faced to date, and I'm sure everyone else experienced this, was during COVID. During COVID, the manufacturer that I worked with and built so many good relationships with, they were forced to shut down. So that really put me in a predicament of where do I go next? And I did not want to compromise the quality of some of my designs or my brands. So I had to it was almost like starting over from square one, to be honest with you. So I would say that those are some of my biggest challenges of entering into a new market where I was just the new kid on the block. We've
Yeah.
all heard of some of the larger tights brands. I won't give them any kudos today,
No.
but
No.
that confidence in COVID, and I would say that that lasted quite a bit of time for me. And think about it: when people were working from home, they weren't dressing up, they weren't buying tights. So
Yeah.
that was a huge challenge for me.
Wow, because clearly athletic leisure was like top thing, dressing from the
Yes,
waist up, you know,
yes,
wasn't leaving
yes,
the
yes,
house, for all sorts of reasons.
yes.
So, why I can imagine because who's thinking about tights sitting in the bed, or sitting
Yes,
down.
yes,
So I can
teleworking.
imagine that has really taken a dump. When did you start seeing a
Mhm,
rise? When did you start seeing the rise with your sales pumping back up? And what did you see
mhm,
different just in case if it were to happen? How would you
mhm.
how would you sail out of that situation?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I would say the end of 22 going into 23, I started to see an uptick again in sales. I
Mhm.
started to do some collaborations with local flat fashion influencers, and that really helped get me back into the game again. And then I had to do a restock. So once I
Mhm.
found a manufacturer that was comparable to who I was working with before, then I was
Right.
able to restock and get some of my designs back in inventory.
Mm. Now, how do you sell the products? How do you go about? Do you have a storefront? Do you have
So
vending? Or how can
yes,
individuals find you if they want to wear these stockings?
yes, yes, yes. That was
Mhm.
another that's another good plug. So
Mhm.
pivoting to brick and mortar, where sometimes I think people look at brick and mortar as not the best opportunity, but I've always thought and dreamed that I want a store front for car hosiery. And so recently I've launched with the Blackbone Project, which is
Mhm.
located, if you're familiar, with the Southeast DC area. The old
Mm.
St. Elizabeth's Hospital is
In the
now
area.
yes, it's now a campus that houses it's like an outside amphitheater almost, but they
Mhm.
also
Yeah.
have unique stores. And car hosiery is sold out of the Blackbone Project, so that is one of our stockists we were able to partner up with. But the majority of my sales are done online, and I also take advantage of vending opportunities. I love to be out in the public to showcase the products. I think having that advantage to talk about my product, people can see them, they can touch them, they can test them out, is always a great advantage point.
Awesome, because that's truly the number one key. Being able just to touch the product before I even purchase it, right? Even though I see it on a model, sometimes
Yes,
not you just visualize it, but to actually textile, to be able to maneuver and understand, okay, this would be a great piece.
yes.
How would I be able to wear this? How would I be able to make this part of a longevity in my wardrobe? So that's
Mhm.
always good. Now you solely work alone, or do you have any employees? And if there's something along your journey, if you were to give an advice to anyone who's in this entrepreneur world that's
Mhm.
trying to branch out to do something different, like we stated,
Mhm.
hosiery is not on many minds, right?
No, it's
That's like
not.
one
It's not.
out of 100, right? If I had
Yes.
to
Yes.
guess and predict, because again,
Yes.
that's not something you hear. You don't hear people
No.
saying hosiery. It's always the typical things and whatever that
Mhm.
typical thing may be. But
Yeah.
hosiery is truly not one. And I don't have any data, but I know I could probably find some that if I had to put on there, it's like one every thousand. I know it's at 100, but 1,000. That's like really thinking about hosiery, right?
Yes.
Who can really
Yes.
capsize and capitalize on this industry. Now, what is
Mhm.
one thing that you can share with someone who's starting something new
Mhm.
and to continue and then not to lose faith, because this is not
Yes.
an easy journey that you happen to fight, chisel your way out, but you
It
see
is
the light
not.
in the tunnel,
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
It is not. And faith, my faith is strong, Joy. Very,
Yes.
very strong. I would
Amen.
say the one piece of advice is to don't be so concerned with perfection at the start.
Hmm.
Get your idea together and perfect it along the way. There are so
Amen.
many things that you can change. There are so many things that you can do. But once you get your initial product started, just
Yeah.
work with that. And sometimes it doesn't have to be, oh, I need 5 things or I need 10 things. Start with that one thing
Yeah.
and then try to perfect that along the way before you expand. You hear so many people say, "Oh my goodness, I need to do this and then do that," and then their expansion and ideas just fall by the wayside. I think
Mm.
so many times people are anxious and excited about, "Oh, this is what success look like," but you have to work within your own model.
Yeah.
And to your point about the competition, when you go into the beauty supply store, there's many different products, right? But there's always something that's going to be unique for that one person that's going to be drawn to your one particular product. So
Yeah.
don't be I would say don't be discouraged as well. Even if you wanted to go into a market where there are multiple sellers or multiple um, I would say different colors or variations of that product. You go and you do yours, and then
Yeah.
you perfect it and make it your own.
Awesome. And I wanted to ask that because entrepreneur is born almost every day, right?
Mhm.
And only the strongest survive, and
Oh,
that's
oh,
mentally, not
yes.
just in fit, but just in mentally, because it can get discouraging knowing that now
Mhm.
we have social media and you look left or right, and you're like tunnel vision, tunnel vision. You got to say,
Yes,
because you look and
yes.
say, God, why me? But God said,
I
why
mean,
not you? Right?
yes,
So
yes,
it
yes. Oh,
can.
say that again. Say
Yeah,
that again. Say that again.
yeah,
I
right.
I I went to a conference last year, Joy,
Mhm.
and I heard one of the keynote speakers, and he was talking about his journey, and
Yeah,
he said, "Why not me?
yeah.
Why not me?" So I say
Mhm.
that to myself all the time. Why
Yeah,
not me?
yeah.
Yes,
and
yes.
and it has to, because I'm a true believer. I'm a true believer in God.
Mhm.
If God is giving you something that's in your soul, and sometimes we fight it, we say no, but when it keeps coming at you, it keeps pushing you, it keeps nagging at you, it keeps ticking
Mhm.
you, it's God is telling you, because it has purpose. You right?
Yes,
God has already given you everything, even when you're being combative and you sitting there, I don't have the money, I don't have the time. God is
yes,
saying, okay, when you finish
yes,
with all your rambling and you
yes,
finish
yes,
complaining,
yes, yes,
we could convene. But for right now, and
yes.
it may take a year, it may take 6 months, but
Mhm.
eventually you're going to see how much God has already given you. He won't give you a vision for something that you don't have. And I
Come
think
on,
sometimes
Joy.
we
We're
look
going
at,
to church now.
yeah,
We're going
girl.
to church.
And I want people to understand, even like with coffee
Yes,
with joy, it's not no miracle that I am here. It's by the faith of God, only because I
amen,
know He's given me the vision, and I
amen.
have to work the vision. And you have to bring the
Mhm.
vision to life, because it's something that you're birthing,
Yes,
something that you're bringing. And some people just don't see your vision, which is okay.
yes,
And you have
yes.
to trust
Totally
that.
fine. Totally
Yes.
fine.
Even
Not
if they
everyone
see
is
the
going to
product.
understand it. Not
Correct.
everyone is going to understand it. Not everyone is going to support it.
Correct. Correct.
Hmm.
And you just have to know God is already on your team. He already has you. So for you to venture out to even start the hosiery, because again, that's not something that you hear on an average in a conversation where people's like, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do hosiery. You hear socks before you hear
No,
hosiery,
no one's thinking about that. No one's thinking
Correct.
about that.
You
But
know, it's
for little old me,
and little you is making strides. You're truly gaining. Now,
thank you.
along, of course, along with the hosiery, is there anything else that you would eventually apply to car hosiery? Like any undergarments
Yeah,
or things of that
yeah.
nature as you innovate?
I've been thinking about that, and actually during
Mhm.
COVID, I started test sampling. I had a few products that I was considering in the athleisure wear arena, and I'm still thinking about that. I'm still
Okay.
thinking about that. I'm still thinking about that. But I do have, in addition to my tights, I also have socks on my website, and then we have some products to help you maintain your products,
Hmm.
like mesh washing laundry bags. So if you decide you wanted to wash with tights, we've got a product for that as well.
Oh wow, yes. I need to look into that. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
So, like, what keeps you motivated? What keeps you going as we bring the show to a close? Of course, everybody deals with their own because everybody on this earth has issues. So, I want people to
Yes,
understand
yes,
life is life for everybody, even
yes,
from the
yes,
richest to the poorest.
yes,
Life
it
is
is.
life for
Yes, it
everybody.
is.
And
Yes,
sometimes we have to create a sunshine in the storm.
yes,
We have to
yes,
look at our cup half full and say, you know what, God, you're right. I was able to be here for 6 months. I am able to have a guest. I'm
yes.
able to bring in revenue. So when we start to appreciate those small things, it starts to look better because
Yes,
again,
it
we
does.
creating the sun here into the storm. So how
Yeah.
do you keep yourself motivated knowing that you still work? You have a family,
Mhm.
and sometimes ideas come quick and you're like, no, don't leave, don't leave.
Yes. Oh my
How do you
gosh.
work
Like, let me grab a pen. Let me write this down before I
it?
forget.
Right.
Oh goodness. Like, yeah, life is life, and life is
Yes.
life. And for
So what keeps Christy going?
Chrissy has always had a very positive attitude, and with that attitude comes a very positive spirit. I am surrounded by so much joy and so much love by my family and friends, and they really, really help keep me grounded and keep me going.
Awesome.
It's all it's just it's who I am. Not to say I don't have a bad day, because Lord knows I do. I do.
Yeah.
I try to do the balancing game between work and what does that look like for my home and my lifestyle. Definitely a challenge there, but I think that I try to put myself in that time into different buckets and
Mhm.
pour into it or pour out of it whenever I need it.
Awesome. Well, Christy, it's truly been a blessing to have you on Coffee with Joy. I'm
Joy,
so
joy, joy,
excited. Whoop,
joy.
whoop,
Me
whoop. Thank you
too.
so much. I know it's going to be nothing but greatness from here on out, as
Thank you.
always. So
Thank
thank you so
you.
much. So please make sure that you all like, subscribe, and follow Coffee with Joy. Please make sure that if you like to patronize our company, that you see the QR codes. Any amount would do to help our production. As you know, on November 2nd, Coffee with Joy is up for an award. Can you believe it? We're up for an award. Whoop, whoop. So
Oh,
stay
yes.
tuned. Hopefully, we'll come back to be an award winning talk show podcast. But as you know, as always, if it's a weekday, it is Coffee with Joyce. Till then, you all live life on purpose and talk to y'all soon. Bye bye.
We kick it like no